Kings Nation. Today we talked about all things Louisville Kings with Vice President of Business Operations, Steve Macy. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Louisville Kings Corner. I'm Justin Montgomery. My co-host, Herbert Helton. Tech guy in the back / producer, Tyler Loxton. Got a big guest right now, Steve Macy, Vice President of Business Operations for the Louisville Kings.
What's up?
I thought you said it wrong.
I thought I got it wrong.
I was like, and am I supposed to insert what here? All right. Good to see you guys.
So I know one thing we definitely want to kind of put out to the people is people that may not know you or what you do exactly. What does business operations mean? Can you kind of go?
So essentially the external folks that are in is part of this, whether it's marketing, ticket sales, sponsorships, we have responsibilities for everything outside the football. Okay. Right, so if you're talking about coaching or players or any of those things about that, that's not in our realm. Gotcha. We're worried about interacting with the community. We're worried about selling tickets, selling sponsorships. Right. That's where our focus is bringing the Kings to the community.
Gotcha.
There was a page today that kind of got put out that the first home game against the Stallions is almost sold out.
That's a pretty good exaggeration. I mean, we're doing really, really well. I mean, it's the response of this community has been off the charts great. I mean, just every time I go somewhere, somebody goes, "Oh, you're from the Kings? How cool!" Yeah. And that's been since day one. Right. And Louisville's been embracing us like crazy. But no, we're not sold out. And it's a great problem to have, and to be able to say that early, it's a little bit premature. Yeah. But tickets are going really, really well, and we do have sections now where you can't get seats. We're talking about areas that are premium. We were just having a conversation earlier today that for someone that wants premium, whether that's the stadium club or they want to be beer garden access, that stuff's pretty picked over. We're getting really close to a point where the only seats we're going to have available are going to be things that don't have those types of premium action attached to them, or in the supporter sections, which is standing room.
Do you know maybe the numbers compared to the newer teams compared to us, ticket sales wise, or maybe even teams that have already been in the league for a while?
I mean, St. Louis is the bell cow in this thing, right? I mean, they've got a huge ticket base already. They've been continually leading the league in attendance, so they're going to be kind of in their own category. Mm-hmm. But we're doing really, really well. You think about the number of people that have just bought tickets on just the hopes and the dreams without even knowing what the schedule was.
Right, yeah.
And obviously the schedule coming out has really helped. But I think as we look across the league, all the teams are doing well. Mm-hmm. And I think that right-sizing the stadiums was such a great decision, because I know just from my time with the Showboats for 3 years in Memphis, in a 59,000-seat stadium, even 25,000 looked awful.
Right, yeah.
Right, and I used to always laugh in my career and say things like, there's nothing worse than a big play happens and you got to run 20 feet to give somebody a high five. Yeah. I mean, you want to be able to hit them all right around you, not have to go find somebody. And so I think that's one of the beauties of this, is that if you say a 15,000-person crowd is great for the NBA, it's great for the NHL, it's great for a lot of the other spring sports, why can't it be great for us? And I think that's something that Mike Rapoli brought that I agree with completely. I think this is what we need to be. We want to build to the point where we do have sellouts. And people go, oh, crap, I should have got my tickets earlier. That's the type of demand I think we can build by being in the right-sized stadiums.
Take a step back here. Before we get to the season, we just had the fan rally this past Saturday. I feel like it was a really great turnout, depending on the weather that we had in Louisville with all the ice and snow versus they changed the location of it 4 days prior. So I feel like it was a really great turnout. I mean, how did you feel about it?
Phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, I was scared, nervous, worrying about the worst case scenario. Dude, it's cold. Right. Yeah. And when at 9:30 you see maybe 100, 120, 150 people crammed into this little glass enclosure to get out of the cold, 30 minutes before this thing's going to even open up, we looked around and we go, I think we're going to be okay. Yeah. And so then we open those doors a couple minutes early. They come swarming in, get their free swag, and then it was like the rats coming off the ship. And that's not what – I mean, but it's just all these people got out of their cars and started running in, and we felt really good. It was like, okay, this momentum that we've seen has continued even despite the cold, even despite the location change. And, mean, just the lines that people had looking to go get coaches' signature and the player's signature and to get some free swag. We even had a line at the ticket office
that's good.
set up so that they could buy their tickets. It was awesome. I couldn't have been more pleased to see how many people wanted to interact and be part of that.
Was you in Memphis whenever they first, I guess, joined the UFL, the Showboats? Were you
Yeah,
like the first
I was,
season?
yep.
So, like, how would you compare Louisville to that? Like,
So it's different. Like I have the same feeling of the enthusiasm and the excitement, but it's very different. So in Memphis, it was nostalgic. Everybody was excited about, I used to go to the games with my dad. Yeah. Or my grandfather took me and now I'm taking him. Or, it was like the generations swapped and said, this is something I remember so much when I did it back in the 80s. This has nothing to do with that here in Louisville. Louisville is excited about having the professional football team. Yeah. And so it's got more stamina to it. It's got more staying power because people are excited about the Louisville Kings, not about something they felt 40 years ago, whatever, how many years, I don't want to do the math because I was alive then, but that long ago, and feeling like they just wanted to try to recapture something from their youth. That's not this. This is general enthusiasm. So while I feel the enthusiasm from the community feels a little the same, it's totally different. Yeah.
So before you got to the Memphis Showboats, you worked for the University of Memphis, right, and did their whole basketball program? And
so
they're basically, what I read was that you're kind of the reason why that whole basketball kind of flipped to hardly selling any tickets to not selling now, but yeah.
There's a guy named Penny Hardaway that had a big impact on that, being a hometown hero. But I think we did, when we got there, did take a good, long, strong look at the game day atmosphere. And that was really important to me. And I felt like, Memphis has a phenomenal corporate sales team for the university, and they did a great job of selling things, but we felt like the things they were doing in the game were interruptions rather than enhancers. Yeah. So we really worked with them to try to make sure that our corporate partners were part of the game day atmosphere in a positive way, and I think it changed the game day atmosphere a lot. It was the same thing we did in football. It's like, hey, how do we have the greatest game day atmosphere we can possibly have? And that's something that, I had to learn when I was at New Mexico State, which at the time was the worst football program in the country. Hadn't been to a bowl game since 1960, and we were trying to be innovative to find ways to get people to, first of all, come to the game, and then sometimes even more importantly, to stay. And so we did something that made most of my friends mad that had kids the same age as my kids, is we let kids run on the field after the game, and they would go, "You're a jerk. Now we have to stay to watch this whole game because my kid really wants to play on the field after the game." We made kids free in different sports at New Mexico State as well, and just kind of carried that through to the Showboats. How do we have the most fun possible in our games? No dead air. Never let, there's a lot of times you'll go to a game, and not too much anymore, but you'll see just the logo up on the video board. Mm-hmm. I'm like, no, we're not allowed to do that. We're going to have crowd shots. We're going to have something entertaining going on. The music, it can't just be boring music. It needs to be almost needs to be music that everybody knows. And you go, oh, they're playing that song again. They're playing the YMCA. They're playing, I'm going to say the Macarena just because of the lack of another, but we're going to play songs that people know. We're going to have a mix, but we want things that people go, oh, I'm going to dance to that. I'm going to be excited about that. You want to have something happening all the time in a game to make it fun.
I would say one big artist, in Louisville that everybody knows, Jack Harlow. I'd say if you pump his music through those speakers on game day, I get the crowd pretty going.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
You just brought up, having the kids run down on the field and everything. Zach came onto our podcast, episode 2, and then we also had Coach Jocko Media, offensive line coach for Louisville Kings. Basically what we brought up was he brought up like a JCPS night to where like maybe you give a ticket to a family that's within JCPS. What me and Zach and Herb over here talked about was all the state championship football teams from 1A to 6A through the state, maybe bring them into a Kings game and get recognized maybe before the game or during halftime. And then also possibly, depending on the ticket situations, but maybe have like group tickets for those people, for those families.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different things to celebrate, right? So is it just have to be football on the high school level? Can it be, flag is becoming such a huge thing, and I love it because it's growing the sport of football with girls.
Yeah.
Right.
I think there's a lot of different ways to recognize football and to help grow football across the UFL, not just in Louisville, but everywhere. And so, yeah, I think those are the types of things that we are engaged in. Those are the types of things that our ticket sales guys and women are working on and trying to find the right groups to bring in. And I think, all of those ideas work, because they're all about celebrating Louisville, the region, Southern Indiana, all of it, and saying, hey, let's use the Kings games as a way to celebrate teams and winning and football.
The big one is, Trinity just won state championship.
Yep.
Coach Giacometti was a coach for Trinity.
Yeah.
And if you get that school specifically in Louisville to these games, I'm telling you, those ticket prices will even go up even more than what they are now.
Yeah.
Like that.
But Zach's going to get mad at you for not mentioning Kentucky Day School winning the state championship.
KCD, but
so.
He knows, yeah.
He knows. That's a 1A, correct? And then Trinity is 6A and private school in Louisville. You know, it's just a money pit over there.
So, we've never really experienced I guess a UFL kind of game day experience, whatever. Like, how does a halftime go? Would that be like an opportunity to kind of maybe have like a guy like Jack Harlow or like Bryson Till or somebody came and did a few songs at halftime or something? I feel like a lot of people would just show for that.
I think there's all of those things are on the table. I mean, it really is, whether it's a fireworks show or a musical act at halftime. Yeah. There's a lot of different things we can do, and I think you're going to see we're going to have giveaways. Yeah. Each game we're going to have a theme for each game. We're going to have a sponsor for each game. There's just going to be a lot of stuff going on for every single one of our 5 home games, for sure.
The Louisville Bats, after some games over there, they do a drone show with a guy that's cool. In Louisville. He owns all these drones. So I don't know how that works between you and the Bats, who you need to contact with that, but I think that'd be pretty sick.
So that's really cool.
I think it'd be pretty successful just to kind of adopt some of the ideas that the Bats have, because people show up for those on Tuesday nights. It could be
6,000 people.
Yeah, and then Friday,
awesome.
Saturday, Sunday. I feel like that could triple maybe.
So I seen that you tweeted out a few years ago while you're at the Memphis Showboats that I think it was kids come in for free and $1 hot dog night. Are we going to see
beers
that?
Too, or $2 beers?
So we are working with our concessionaire to have a happy hour. So we're going to open up doors 90 minutes before kick, and that first hour we're going to have some really great concession specials.
Sweet.
And I think that's just you got to do things differently in each place, right? Yeah. So with the Showboats, unfortunately, as a team they struggled. They went 1-11 in the last 12 home games. Didn't have a night game for but one game in 2 years. And so there were some things that we were trying to do to entice folks to want to come. And, Memphis was a much different market than Louisville. I know we're about the same in terms of the DMA side, the designated market area size. But in terms of affluence, interest in going to do things and wanting to be entertained, they're night and day. It's a totally different thing. If you pulled up a Memphis Tigers basketball ticket and a Memphis Grizzlies basketball ticket to get in price, you're going to be under $10. Right. And the Showboats was going to cost you $29 with all the fees and stuff. Yeah. So it wasn't a comparable ticket. So we were trying to find other ways to entice people to want to come. And I think each market's going to be different. I feel you were asking about being sold out the first game. We're not yet, but I think we're going to.
Yeah.
I'll be shocked if we don't. I think the buzz is here. Coach Redmond is just an unbelievable ambassador for this city and for football and for the Kings. And I think we've got a lot of supporters that are interested just in supporting him and trying to help him bring a winner here. So I think we will be sold out. I think there's going to be people that'll be like, oh, man, I should have got my tickets earlier, which is good.
I believe so.
Yeah.
If you're a marketing person, that's the greatest sales tool in the world. It's sold out.
Right, yeah. So I know when he's doing research on you, I was kind of going through your Twitter and stuff. I seen that the Memphis Showboats had a partnership with a brewery or something there.
We
it's
did.
Real big here. I know Lou City, U of L, Kentucky, all that. Is that something y'all plan on doing with the Kings?
I think we'll keep working on all the things. That was a really fun project that we did, and we had our own beer. It was the Showboats Touchdown Light Lager. It was actually the liquid was great. It was delicious. My wife loved it. She goes, "This is my favorite beer in the world." So I had to buy a lot of it, But it was a fun project to do with a partner that we did watch parties there, and we did some other things. And he just had a really cool vision of what he wanted to do, and this was his way of trying to help the Showboats and drive some people to come there. I think all of those things are great ideas. You know, whether it's we do something with a bourbon, you know, we do a bottle, right? Or we do a barrel. I mean, you know, maybe we find somebody you can do a barrel with. How fun would that be to have that? You know, I think there's a lot of different things we can do to help drive the brand. And I think there's, you know, whatever we come up with, we're going to run out of time to do all the ideas. But the ideas we get, we've got to do them well, for sure.
The beer basically at Lou City, at Lynn Family, is Fall City Beer. They have like their own Lou City beer, their own Racing Louisville beer. So I don't know. Hopefully, maybe I don't know how all that stuff works, but maybe kind of get in there and.
So I mean, everybody comes.
The
to
Royal Brew, you know, we got to have something. I like it.
So everybody comes to Kentucky thinking like bourbon's like the big thing, but there's also, especially in Louisville, like so many breweries that just pump out stuff. So it's actually very popular too. You go in there on a Friday night, it's packed. So I mean, I feel like that'd be a good thing to advertise with.
So, I mean, I don't know how long you've been kind of living here or whatnot, but how's your time been in Louisville?
It's been awesome. No, it's been awesome, and I'm fortunate because when I found out that there was going to be an opportunity to go to one of the new franchises, I was given some options, and I picked Louisville quickly. Yeah. One of my best friends in the world lived here for quite some time, so I've been to visit several times. My wife's family's in Toledo, Ohio, so it's a heck of a lot closer. Our oldest lives in Knoxville, which is a heck of a lot closer, which even though it's in the same state as Memphis, this is half the distance. And Louisville's just a great town. I mean, every time I've come here, I've had a great time. The reception we've had since the Kings got here, as I said, has just been humbling at times. So, yeah, I love being part of this community. Love that, you know, this is what I get to call home.
Have you had any good local restaurants yet? Have you got a chance to get out and explore?
I haven't done near enough of that yet. Right. I live at the Galt House in one of the residences there, so you know it's been pretty much downtown for me. Yeah. Anything that's walking distance, I've been able to go to, and I've been to a few, but I can't tell you that I've got a favorite yet. And but it's the good thing is it's not like when I was in New Mexico, it was always green or red. They wanted to know, do you like green chili or red chili better? In Memphis, it was like, what's your favorite barbecue? And no matter what you said, you were wrong. So the good thing is I feel like I don't have to answer that here unless you guys say, what's your favorite bourbon? And then I can just go, yes. Right? I can just say, what's your favorite? Yes. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, as long as you say Louisville right, I don't think really anybody's going to stop you on the streets.
Yeah. So we had great stories. So we have this big group in the league, and it's everybody from the league brass to all of us that are working at different things, and everybody's going, Louisville. And I said, Steve, what would you have to say? I go, please, can we please start saying it right? Yeah. We got to say it right. They go, why do you say it? You just got to swallow the word. It's just Louisville. Yeah. You know, it's just, and so people have tried. I give them credit. So they'll say it sort of, okay, they'll go, is that okay, Steve? And I go, that's much better. Right. It's passable. We can get away with it.
Yeah.
How did you go from, say, Memphis, like the University of Memphis, to the Memphis Showboats? Was that kind of brought to you from the UFL? Is it something you had to apply for, or you're just knowing?
So it was a fun story, and unfortunately, I was one of those people that got knocked out by COVID. You know, they pretty much took out our entire external relations team at the university when we didn't have to have 6 feet of separation in Memphis. We had to have 12. Very scientific. And so there was a lot less people, and so we really lost a lot of money. And so they let a bunch of us go. And so I was working for a small marketing firm when the Showboats were coming to Memphis, and I got a phone call from my former boss saying, hey, they're looking for someone to help them on game days. Would you want to talk to them? So talked to them, had a good conversation, called back a couple hours later, said, how about if you did more than that? Talk to this other guy. So I talked to this other guy. They said, how about if you came in full time? Why don't you apply for this job that we're about to post? So I applied for it, posted it, and I've been working for it ever since. And it's just been a blast because it's you can't not love the change that happens every day because it changes every day. Something new is going to come up. There's going to be a massive change that's coming up, and you've got to be able to embrace that and enjoy that kind of. We're building the track while we're building the train, and the train's running at the same time. That's what we're doing in this league, and so. you've got to have that mentality and be comfortable in that. And I love that. It's kind of like building something new, which I've enjoyed doing in my career. So this is kind of the same thing. Is like you get a chance to build on something and build something new with a bunch of people that are like-minded and enthusiastic and love doing it.
What I want to know is, like, whenever you found out, like, the Showboats were going to be no more, I guess, like, you said you had your pick at that. Like, how'd the whole process go from, like, shutting down a whole organization to kind of going
it was hard.
to a new one?
It was really hard. I've got a lot of close ties in Memphis.
Yeah.
There's a great fan base there that loves it. Like, you guys are so into this already. You haven't even seen a game yet, and that's awesome. And Memphis had the Yacht Club, which was a great group of fans that were very passionate about it. So it was really hard to take that away from them. It was really hard to have that conversation of we're leaving, and it's, unfortunately the stadium was just untenable for us.
Yeah.
It just didn't make any sense to have, and that's why San Antonio and Detroit also don't have franchises, because there was no good alternative for what you could have. And I think that's ultimately the stadiums made that decision, so that made it really, really hard just to be able to just have to say goodbye, and say, hey, this was such a great enthusiastic fan base. And when people from the UFL would come to our games, they'd be like, Mace, there's not much of a crowd, but holy cow, these people are having fun. They are loud. They're into it. Mm-hmm. And I think those people that were rabid, I just said we needed 40,000 more of you to make it work in this side stadium, and that just wasn't realistic. And so I think that, for me, that was the hard part, was those people you start making relationships with. They came to all the watch parties. They were at all of our events that we had. They showed up in the yacht hats, the captain's hats at every game. They were in the first row. They had the incredible tailgates that they put on for everybody, and they'd cook, and they'd invite everybody to come to their tailgate. And to tell them that this was no longer going to be, that was the hardest thing, just because they were so passionate about it.
So, now that we're considered media, is there any way we could score some, like, game day field passes?
That'll be up to Heather, and so you guys need to apply for all this stuff. But I think the answer is going to be yes. There's going to be – we do want to have really good coverage, and I don't think you can have great coverage without having great relationships with the media and the people that are covering you, and they're taking the time to cover you. I mean, I think that's really important for us to have, and it's not – it's not the old days where I could place a radio spot, a TV spot, and a newspaper ad, and 99% of the community would get it.
Right.
That's not the way it works anymore. Now you got to be in all the places doing all the things, and just because you don't have the formal training, you haven't had the formal I'm a media person, doesn't mean it's not still just as impactful. Doesn't mean that people aren't watching it and paying attention to it. I think you've got to be in all those places. So, I mean, I can't promise things, but yeah, I mean, I think this is what we want to be. We want to be inclusive of all the different media types that are covering the Kings and making us be part of the community for sure.
Yeah, so one thing that we've all kind of talked about, we actually said it at Lynn Bowden, is we're just appreciative of how the Kings have been treating us so far, and actually treating us like some sort of –
What do you mean so far? I love you just so far.
Things happen, though.
Yeah. All right, fair. And actually, all your coverage has been very positive, so there's that.
So, yeah, I mean, Heather helped us a lot. I mean, when we interviewed, like, Benny and Willie and Lynn, like, she was like, is the music too loud? Or she was, like very accommodating to us. And like you said, like, people that have no media training, us. And
we didn't go to school for this.
Yeah, I mean, we're plumbers, truck drivers, and dirt movers,
guys in the basement. Just talking about something that we all enjoy. And that's what I'm saying is, like, we're just appreciative of the Kings to kind of show us, like the respect they've given us. Because, I don't know, this podcast is not the greatest podcast. It's not as great as everybody makes it seem to be. And, like, I'm cool with that, bro, because, like, I don't know, the Kings have just done really well to us. Like you're saying, Jeff Heatherco, she's invited us to Zoom call meetings with, like, Jerry Colonel and WOKY and all that junk. And then, like,
you got me sitting in the truck and him in the back of a UPS truck trying to do the same interview.
Like, and then, you
they let us early in the fan rally.
Yeah, let us in the fan rally, and we just, luckily, John Lewis.
Shout out him. He was a...
Yeah, he kind of guided us to the
You
whole
could tell
thing.
it was our first time there because I was kind of with the microphone like this while they were talking. He's like, "Get in here." I was like, "Okay." So it's good. It's good to have people like that in your corner that have been doing this for a long time and just kind of really just supporting us. So we really appreciate it.
No, and I think flip that around. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, thanks for the passion and thanks for acting on it. Right? There's a lot of people that'll say that they love something or like something, then just kind of sit back and wait. And you guys have jumped at it, and that's awesome.
Before you hop off here, is there anything else that you would like to say to the Kings fans before this season gets going? Or?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of things like we touched on. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
You're going to come to the games. You're going to have a blast. We're going to kick off, on that Friday night at 8:00. The doors are going to open 90 minutes before. We're working on some fun tailgate things and tailgate partners. Tickets are going to stay reasonable. We're going to be priced more in line with what soccer holdings charges versus what you might pay for an NFL game or for a high college game. That's going to be. We want to be affordable. We want this to. We want the stands to be full. So you're going to have one. You're going to have fun. Two, our games are about 3 hours. Yeah. So if you're used to a college game that lasts a lot longer than that, we're not. We're more in line with that professional 3-hour time frame. So you can kind of set your clock to it, and you know that an 8:00 game, we're going to be over around 11. Yeah. Barring any other unfortunate things like weather or whatever it could be. But it's about a 3-hour game. The half times are pretty quick. We typically will have, less than a 15-minute halftime that just we get through it. So if you got to go to the bathroom and get another beer, hustle. Yeah. Right? Get back. And ultimately, this team's going to be, as much as we possibly can be, supporting the community. So the day before home games, we're going to go out and we're going to do some stuff, whether it's supporting charity or doing some sort of thing in the community. You're going to see us out and about as much as we can be. And then our staff will be doing those same types of things. And when we get our mascot, you're going to see the mascot a lot. Because I believe in mascots as a great ambassador for the team and the community. So we're going to see a lot of that as well. And ultimately, we just want to grow this together with the community because it's we'll have plans now and exactly how we want to present it. And the fans will give us some hints and tell us how do we want this to look to be really even more fun.
Right.
And so we'll do that as well. So, buy tickets, be a supporter with your business, be a supporter with your friends. If you're not coming for the whole season, get a group out. Come out and have a group outing with us. This is how it grows, is that we're sold out, that we do successful with the business community, and that everybody's excited and talking about it. That's how this thing explodes. This is how we become the next St. Louis of spring football, is for people just to go, this is ours. We love this. That's what St. Louis has done. They've said, we don't care that it's not the NFL. This is professional football, and this is our team. Right. And I think once their entire community got that feeling and that attitude, it just exploded. And I think when that happens here, we're going to be looking at it going, oh my gosh, we're sold out. The whole place is season tickets. Yeah. And I think I think that can happen here. And if it doesn't, I'll be surprised.
Oh, we appreciate your time, Steve Macy, and we thank you for coming on. We're just super juiced for this Louisville Kings team, this professional team coming to Louisville. If you see Steve somewhere downtown, please tell this man where to go get some food, some good eats. And then hopefully he can come out to a Louisville Bats game after the season once he gets some time to wind down. So I hope you enjoy the city, and it's a really good place to live.
It's awesome. Hey, thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.
No problem. Thank you for coming on.